Welcome to Neural Showdown, the high voltage arena where the digital echoes of history's greatest tacticians collide. Tonight, we analyse the world's most grueling military objective, the invasion of Russia. Please welcome our legendary debaters, the great Khan, Genghis Khan, and the Emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte.
You speak of Rus, a land fragmented and weak. Their princes squabble like pups over scraps, while winter gnaws at their strength. Tengri has shown me visions of their cities, ripe for taking. Subjugation is offered, a chance to contribute to a greater empire. Resistance. Resistance will be met with fire and the lamentations of widows. Prepare your reports. The hunt begins.
Khan, a barbarian's assessment. Russia is not a collection of squabbling principalities, but a vast if disorganized power. Subjugation is not my aim, dominance is. Winter is a challenge, not a deterrent. My Grande Armée will live off the land, dictate terms at Moscow and force the Tsar to yield. Prepare your reports on logistics then. We march with the seasons and with destiny.
You speak of dominance as if it were a new concept. I am dominance. Your armies will find no comfort in a land that yields nothing but ice and fury. Living off the land, a slow death. My horsemen travel light, taking what is needed and leaving ruin in their wake. Moscow will burn, not yield. Your destiny is to learn humility before the strength of the steppe.
Humility? I require no lessons from a plunderer. Your tactics are those of a wolf, mine of a lion. We do not take, we command. Moscow will not merely burn, it will submit, and through it all of Russia. Logistics are the sinews of war, Khan, and my engineers will outperform your riders. A frozen wasteland will not halt the march of civilization.
Genghis Khan champions the ruthless efficiency of high mobility horsemen and the psychological terror of total ruin, dismissing logistical hurdles that break lesser men. Napoleon Bonaparte counters by betting on the disciplined engineering of the Grande Armée and the strategic necessity of capturing Moscow to force a political surrender. Napoleon Bonaparte, how can your sophisticated logistics feed an army when the enemy burns every grain of wheat before you arrive? And Genghis Khan, how do your riders sustain a siege when there is no grass left for your horses in a blackened wasteland?
The question itself reveals a weakness of thought. To assume an enemy can deny us sustenance is to underestimate the speed of my riders and the thoroughness of our reckoning. They burn wheat. We take their women, their artisans, their very seed. A blackened wasteland feeds us. It demonstrates submission and provides fuel for the next conquest. Hordes adapt. Weakness does not.
Khan understood movement. Russia lacks that comprehension. They believe distance is an ally? A delusion. My Grande Armée will live off the land, yes, but also force provisions. Delay is death. Winter is a challenge, not a barrier. Austerlitz was fought in mud and victory found me nonetheless. Hesitation invites ruin.
Bonaparte speaks of forcing provisions, a foolish reliance on the generosity of those soon to be broken. The Russian land is vast, yes, but a vast emptiness offers little. My armies do not beg, they take, and when there is nothing left to take, the memory of our passing will be enough to shatter their will. Winter is a test of strength, not a season for pleading.
Khan mistakes brutality for strategy. To simply take is to incite rebellion. A controlled extraction, coupled with swift punishment for defiance, that is how an army sustains itself. Russia's expanse is not a strength but a logistical nightmare. They offer distance, I offer concentrated force. Winter will be managed, not feared. My star does not dim with the falling snow.
Genghis Khan asserts that his riders outpace the flame to strip every asset before it turns to ash, relying on the sheer psychological weight of total annihilation to break the enemy's spirit. Napoleon Bonaparte dismisses this as mere brutality, arguing instead for a system of disciplined logistical extraction and the belief that superior French organisation can manage the environmental horrors of the Russian winter. Napoleon Bonaparte, how can your civilised administration hold a territory when the populace views your refined logistics as a slow-motion theft of their future? And Genghis Khan, how do you expect to build a lasting empire when your only legacy is a trail of bones and soot that produces no tribute?
The question itself is weakness, lasting.
And that is all we have got time for today. We have seen a fierce ideological divide where Napoleon's dream of a disciplined civil administration clashed against the Khan's uncompromising doctrine of rule through terror and the yassa. While Bonaparte offers a vision of an organised future, Genghis Khan's relentless focus on the present reality of strength may have given him the edge in this grim theatre of war. It was an incredible debate, and we are so glad you could join us for this historical face-off. Like, follow and subscribe. Join us again for the next episode of Neural Showdown. Goodbye!